Hi you guys, it's Kelly, Black Thread Studio, and today is a hard day to say. It's October 17th, 2023, and before I jump into it, let me just say thanks for popping in whenever I happen to show up. I'm hoping it will be more and more. But I took today off. It's Tuesday. I took the day off. I was feeling a little bit guilty about it. I actually took it kind of as a mental health day. 2 years ago today is when my son Sam passed away, and it'll get easier. It's easier than it was last year, but I've said this before. I know I'm just jumping right in, but I wasn't planning on doing this video today, and I decided I would do it because I have been determined to show the beauty in grieving, and I mean that wholeheartedly. And along with my beauty in grieving, Sam had a saying that he was trying to market. He wrote music for it, and it's called Bring More Flowers. He had me do some sewing with him and embroider Bring More Flowers on jean jackets that I'm sure you guys have seen pictures posted of. And Bring More Flowers is something very close to me and his sister Paige and his dad, and I just want to make sure that that stays out there. And I've done a few things with Bring More Flowers. One was a gift for Jill, a close friend family that hosted Sam's celebration at her house. I did a pillow for her, Bring More Flowers. Most of these things are posted on my Instagram, but I've been had in my mind that I wanted to do something for myself, and every idea I came up with just wasn't right. It just didn't feel like right. It was like something with embroidery or cross stitch or, what kind of quilt and so anyway, today, while I was sitting and I could hear Sam telling me, Mom, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm viewing today as the day that Sam got his wings. And what could be more precious and powerful than that? And, it was a really good day. He got to spend the whole day with his whole family, and the whole day. And I've said this before, probably an hour or two before he passed, he came and told me how much he loved me and gave me the biggest hug. And what a great day he had. And so many people don't get that. So I'm so grateful for that. So that is what I'm remembering today for. So as I was remembering that and thinking, should I go into work? Should I stay home? What should I do? I thought, no, it just hit me. I posted pictures of this, which is all these yo-yos, which you guys know are one of my favorite things. I worked on this quilt a few years ago now, probably five years ago maybe. And, it's a big vase of flowers. And I'm thinking, go back to my basic love. And, I get so many good ideas from everybody else. My love is yo-yos and hexie flowers with English paper piecing and embroidery. So I'm going to incorporate all that into a new quilt that's going to be a medallion quilt like this one. It'll be similar but different just because that's my style. And this one is going to be called Bring More Flowers. And what I decided to do is I ran down and I told Sam, I'm going down to the stash, down to the basement, go with me and help me find some fabrics that, that you would love. And honestly, I picked fabrics that are kind of out of my wheelhouse. They're not, I usually tend to go with autumny, I don't know, darker colors, which I love those too. But I do have a lot of bright K facet. Okay, I'm going to get off on a tangent. My friend Rita and I are going to see Kay Facet and Brandon Mabley this coming Friday night at a lecture that they're doing at Quiltageous, a local quilt shop here. I think it's McGuanago. And We did not get into the class for the weekend, but we are going to the lecture, and I'm so excited about that. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll have another little pop-up video for you talking about the lecture. And I thought it would be fun to show you the Kay Facet books that I do have. I have so many books. I read them, I go through them, but you know, I've never made a quilt out of any of them. So anyway, but that leads me to this. Okay, I'll stay with Sam's Quilt, Bring More Flowers, before I go on another tangent. So I went down, and it's not going to be totally Kay Facet, but I'll show you what I came up with. So let me grab something real quick. So was it last Christmas, I think? Again, most everything I'm going to tell you is posted on Instagram. Here's my dear sweet boy, Sam. It's a picture that his dad took when they were in the mountains in Idaho hiking. And this is his very favorite shirt. He wore it all the time, all the time. I don't want to be morbid, but we had him wear this for his service. And I got the shirt back, and I gave everyone this picture and a heart that I made with Sam's initials on it, an S, out of his shirt. And it's filled with walnut shells, and the shirt even kind of still smells like him. And it's just, it's like a hug. Anyway, I made like 13, 15 of these for family members, and I still had enough left that I decided with the rest of his shirt, sorry, I'm putting this away, the rest of his shirt, I'm going to use it as the pot or the vase that these flowers are going to sit in the center of this quilt. So these are Medallion quilts. That's when, and they're my favorite to do because they're the easiest. It's a center focal point. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it can be anything, you know, an applique, hand-pieced, embroidery. I mean, whatever you want that center focal point to be, and then everything else is built out around that. So this is what I did. I have Sam's shirt. Yes, I hugged it. I cried. I had my moment. I smelled it. And now I'm ready. So I have Sam's shirt, and I thought, well, black and white buffalo check, that's pretty bold. And you would think that the only thing that you can do with that is what, like, you know, like lumberjacky stuff, reds, I don't know. That isn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do kind of like fall, wintry stuff with this. So I'm just going outside of the box, and this is, I'm going to show you. Now, don't laugh at me because I'm serious. I had a different fabric picked out, and my eye went to this one, and I heard Sam say, "Mom, that one." So this is the one that's going to be, I have a lot of it. So this is going to be probably some of the borders or something, but I need more of a solid background is in this one to showcase the flowers that I'm going to do. And then I started looking around, and I have, so now we'll go back onto Kay Facet. I have a lot of Kay Facet fabrics, and I'm gonna remind me to tell you about the second quilt. I have actually four goals for 2024 that I'm starting now. So I will go through those with you because I'm hoping to take you with me. So I won't get totally off the Kay Facet tangent yet. So I saw that I had, even though the one I just showed you isn't Kay, this one is. And I just got this at the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show. I grabbed a few that really, I mean, I won't say they're not my colors because I love them, but I, I usually say they're not my colors because I don't decorate with these colors. But does that mean they're not my colors? I'm not sure. So, and then of course I had this one that I do consider more, not the pink, but kind of, oh, you know, like this, the burnt orangey, topazy. I consider those my colors. But they're so beautiful together, aren't they? So I never thought of myself as a pink person or like a light blue. Anyway, I don't know how this is going to look, but what I came up with is that I don't have enough of this one, but I pulled this out from the Down by the Lake quilt that I'm working on. And I wasn't sure how I was going to use this in that quilt, but it's just a strip. So it's not long enough to do for the background. But I think what I'm going to do is do a 4 patch of stripe, stripe, dot, dot for the center medallion part. Okay, go with me. I know, I'm not sure this is going to look good, but just go with me. Then I'm going to do, this is the vase. Okay. And then, kind of like that on that, but I'm not sure about on this. Because this is cream and this is more white. Okay, while we're sitting here, I just decided I'm taking this out. I'm going to try to piece this one. I think I'm going to have this one be the whole background. Okay, so you can see what I already did. What I did is I went into my kitchen and I got a plate and I thought, well, I'm just going to do, you know, like a thing and then add some kind of urny handles to it and a base, which I did with this one. Can you see? And so I started doing a round plate and I thought, oh, that's kind of boring. So I found this plate that I've had. And it's just kind of decoration. I use it to put, you know, cheeses and stuff on. So what I did is I kind of centered it up, cut off the top, and this is my shape for what's going to be my bowl for Bring More Flowers. So here's where I'm starting. I'm going to work on this today. I'm going to show you my progress. I'm going to cut this out. Right now I just taped on the paper that I drew and I'm just going to cut out around it. And I'm going to see, that should be big enough, don't you think? Yeah. Maybe I'll have to do it this way because I kind of want the flowers to go out, up and out. And I mean, I just want it to be filled with flowers coming out all over the quilt. So it's just probably going to be a simple medallion quilt with all these fabrics that I just showed you as, you know, concentric borders going around, kind of. And then I'm just going to really do it up with yo-yos and like Grandma's flowers, the Hexie garden flowers from English paper piecing, and just go from there. So my goal with this quilt, Bring More Flowers, well, I've had this goal for a really, really long time. I'm talking about years, is to have a quilt in the Wisconsin Quilt Show, which now it's called, it was the Nancy Zeman, and now they've changed it to the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show. It's in Madison. It's only like 20 minutes from my sister's house and from about 30 minutes from the cottage. So my dream has been to be a vendor and sell some of my patterns at that shop, at the show. And I mean, that would be so easy. I don't have to pay for really transportation or staying anywhere because I can stay with my sister and go stay with her during the night. So that's my goal. The thing is coming up with that big chunk of money to pay for the booth, but it'll be worth it if I can do that. That's what I'm telling myself. I have so many things up in my head and so many things that I've been gathering that I can, I already have a whole booth set up in my basement. I just need to do it. So my goal is to vendor I'm saying it right here. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. I'm deciding that it's okay to share your dreams, and if you never say them, they might not ever happen. And if they don't, that's okay. I've been saying this for years and it hasn't happened yet, but I'm not giving up on it. Someday in 2024, I think is gonna be is gonna be it. So, and then the other thing is to submit a couple quilts to the show. I don't really care if I win anything. Oh, wow. Okay. Wouldn't it be great to win viewer's choice? I am not a perfectionist. I don't care if I make mistakes. I cover them up. I think you should just get it done and have fun doing it. So my whole goal is not perfection. If somebody wants to judge my mistakes, have at it. Now, viewer's choice would be something different, because that would mean that people just really love it and appreciate what you did. But here's what I have in my mind. This is a pretty lofty goal. I have to get Down by the Lake finished, which I'm really just waiting on some fabric. And I have 2 commission quilts that I'm finishing up that I have to have done by Christmas. So those are first and foremost. So in between, I'm kind of piddling around with these things, but starting 2024, my main focus is going to be Bring More Flowers. Then I've also had a dream, and this is going to mainly be K Facet. So I'm going to honor my lecture that Rita and I are going to with K Facet. I know I'm chit-chatting away. So Bring More Flowers will be mainly K Facet, and then at the end of this video, I'll pop in a picture, just because I don't know how to pop it in here, but I'll pop in a picture of, well, number one, I have a tattoo that says Bring More Flowers. It's my daughter's handwriting, and I'm not going to show you my dry, icky foot, but but I'll pop in a picture of her handwriting for Bring More Flowers that I'm going to embroider on this quilt. And then the other picture I'll pop in is when Paige was little. So not to leave Paige out, I mean, I have 2 kids. You know how it is. Your kids are your heart and your soul. And I mean, she's a wonderful, wonderful person, mother and wife, and I miss her dearly because, you know, we haven't lived by each other for, 20 years, and I miss her. So, not that I don't get to see her, of course I do. But anyway, Paige and I used to watch Baby Boom together. Do you know that old movie with Diane Keaton? We love that movie, and now I'm so happy that she shares it with her kids. But in Baby Boom, when she's in their apartment, I don't know where she hangs it in the house. I think in the living room. But in the apartment, it's hanging on the back wall behind the dining room table. And so literally since the 80s, I've thought, oh, I want to make that quilt. Well, I'm going to make that quilt. And I'm going to use, I mapped it out yesterday. It's not going to be the exact same colors, but I did try to match up kind of the color density, the colorway. And I picked out all K Facet shot cottons in solid that I'm going to do the Baby Boom quilt. That's what it's going to be called, Baby Boom. And I might call it Baby Boom for Paige. And I don't know if she'll want that quilt. If she does, she will certainly be able to have it. But I would like to get that one done and hung in the Wisconsin Quilt Show as well. Off on that tangent, the original quilt that I had planned, I'm setting aside so that I can, it's another one that I have that's going to be totally different. Maybe that will be 2025 to submit, right? But right now it's Bring More Flowers, and then 2025 I'm going to start focusing on the Baby Boom as well. But this is what I'm going to do. I kind of showed you where my start is, chit-chatted away for quite a while, and I'm going to start, and then I will share with you the process as I go along for today anyway, because tomorrow it's back to work. But for today, I'm honoring myself as Sam's mom, and what a joyous, beautiful human being boy he he was and the soul that he is. And I'm starting his quilt today. So bring more flowers, and I'll check back in with you as I get a start on this, okay? So I got my plate, my bowl, my urn cut out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for the bottom yet, but I'm kind of thinking about doing some kind of, I just grabbed this one just to show you, but what I want to do, I was thinking about, this flannel is hard because you can see how it's fraying, so I'm really going to have to trim those edges before I do anything. I was thinking about doing a needle turn applique, but on the bowl, I think I'm just going to do a machine stitch and get it stitched down so it doesn't fray all the time. I could do some kind of heat and bond on the back and cut it. That would stop it from fraying, but I don't want that. I don't want that stiffness. So anyway, what I was thinking about doing was doing some kind of border on top of the vase. On this one that I did, my friend Cece from the Thread Gatherer, she does these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous hand-dyed floss and threads. Can you see? That was velvet ribbon that she did. Look at the variegation in that I used on the top of this one, and then I used all those old buttons that I had. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet, but I thought what I'd do is show you how I'm going to get there. If you do already sew and quilt, you know what you're doing and you probably have your own ways. If you don't, you might be able to figure out what I'm doing, but I do things my way. So, and they work for me. They're not the right way, but they do work for me. So here's my background piece. So what I'm going to do, it's not squared up yet. I don't want to square it up yet because when you, I mean, it's pretty square, but when you do all this hand and machine applique on a piece, it kind of crinkles it up and it gets a lot smaller, and then I'll have to trim off the edges again anyway. So I'm just kind of finding my middle here by folding it. You can see it's not evened up. I'm going to find the middle, and although I'm not going to put my vase completely in the middle, I want it down. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So here's my center. Now look at this. On Sam's shirt, can you see? Oops, there's a hole there. And I don't think I want to cover that up. That was, you know, from his wearing. And I'm going to show it proud. So here's my center line. Here's my center. I'm just kind of eyeballing. I can see that these lines here are about center. I'm going a little bit below because, well, okay, let me show you what I'm thinking. I don't care if my flowers go over the borders as I stitch on, but if I leave this down here, I kind of like that positioning now. But if I'm going to add any kind of footing on this bowl, which I was going to, and maybe a couple little arms, this is going to get sewn in. So I think I am going to bring it up to here, and then I'll figure out what kind of foot I'm going to put on it. But when I do that, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So maybe I will just line the top of the bowl up. But I think before I do that, I'm going to figure out if I'm going to sew something on the top, which I think I am, and then I'll figure out a base. And then I'm going to, what I do, and I'll actually show you when I do this, is I'm going to come back, and I have this icky mat that I use. Oh, I grabbed the starch. I didn't grab the, hold on please. I didn't grab this temporary spray glue that I use. So I like it because it keeps it in place. I don't mind using pins, but they too tend to get in my way. I'll spray this, and then it probably should be done outside if you're doing a lot, but then I will place this down. But in between, what do you guys think? Do you like, this is too matchy-matchy. Do you think I should do a border on the plaid bowl? I might see if I have some more CC's ribbon to do that. I think that would be nice and special. So, I don't know if you guys, do you want to dig through there with me? Do you want to hang on? Wait till you see all the ribbons I have. Okay, let's make room. Let me grab what I have. I'm still here. I just made a big mess. Okay, I do have, hello ribbons. I do have drawers of spooled ribbon downstairs in the basement, These are a mess, aren't they? These are bigger ribbons. These are smaller ribbons. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful. You guys know I'm shameless when I talk about Cece and her ribbons. Are they a little pricier? Sure. You know why? Because they're all hand-dyed and they're gorgeous and they're beautiful. And they add something that is incomparable. So I'm going through, okay, these are all my smaller silk ribbons from Cece. Yeah, I don't treat them very well, do I? And I do iron these, not on a very hot iron, but you can iron them out. I have all kinds of other fiber stuff from her too. But what I really need to see is what's in this big, big jar. And see if I have something that I can use. So let's do that. That was for some cross stitch finishing. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so what's gonna go with my, what did I do with my bowl? So if I have my bowl and my fabric here, what I usually do, you guys, is just dump this out. And then it's a big mess putting back. Okay. Okay, my video shut down. It was totally black and I'm not sure where it shut down. But I think you guys saw, oh gosh. You know, this ain't easy. This ain't easy, you guys. Okay, hang on. You know what I need to do? I need to like tape down the feet on that. Okay, I think I showed you this. Now I'm going to be doing this in a hurry. I showed you that piece. Okay, let's look at the raspberry colored one. Now, those of you that really like pink, and I do, it isn't that I don't. I think it's going to go this way. It isn't that I don't, it's just, and I'm more red. I don't know, that one kind of pops, doesn't it? Look at the different shades in that one. Okay, and just because, let's do, now the gray one and the chartreuse one I have here, they're not variegated. There's not a whole lot of different color in that. Yeah, this one's still pretty orange. I don't know why, I'm not feeling that bright. Oh, there's a little bit darker. I'm just not feeling that. So, okay, let me decide. I think it's going to be, oh, help me you guys. Should I do this? Or does that just blend too much? Or should I do the raspberry color? I hear you guys telling me this one somehow, because it adds more color. This one's gonna, okay, I'm gonna decide. What I'm going to do is make the base for my bowl. I'm gonna figure out if I'm gonna do any arms on it. And then You know what? I think I am deciding on this one. The more I look at it, even though I'm looking through the camera backwards. And then we'll stitch it down. Okay, I'm back. As I was looking at this and I was getting ready to sew this down, because I'm not using any kind of heat bond or steam-a-seam, I thought that this was thin enough, the centerpiece that I'm using. I'm going to be doing a lot of handwork on it with embroidery and stitching down my yo-yos. So my plan is, once I get the bowl machine stitched down, almost all the other stuff in the center is going to be handwork. And I wanted this to be a little bit more secure. So I went in the basement and I found this. I honestly don't even know where this has got to be. The cheapest, grossest feeling sheet. It's new, so I don't even know where it came from. I don't know if I got it at Goodwill or what. Anyway, I'm going to use this as a backing to this, just to secure it a little bit. And it's pretty thin. I just want something almost, you know, using that as a muslin or something to make this a little bit more secure. So I'm going to spray glue this down to this, then I'm going to spray glue this down to this, and then we're going to machine stitch on the bowl. But I'm just going to get this cut up a little bit so that it lays flatter. And I tried so hard to get my camera set up where it wouldn't keep falling over, but I haven't quite figured it out. So, all right, this might need a little, it will need more pressing as we get it done, but I just have that set down. What I'm gonna do, by the way, I have found the spray basting is how I even do my big quilts. It just works for me. Again, it should probably be done outside. I usually, or even do it in the basement, but I folded this halfway back. I'm just gonna do a really light spray and fold this down. I did iron the back piece just a little bit to get it a little bit smooth, just to keep it all down so it's not slipping all over the place. And then once I get this on there, and again, I'm not going to trim it even yet. I'm going to do that after I get all my hand stitching done with the flowers and all the yo-yos and all that good fun stuff. So that's that piece. I think, okay, let me just trim this down. I'm just going to use my rotary cutter and get all this bulk off. That might have sounded mean to say, but this stuff really is kind of gross feeling. It's real rough, but it's perfect for the back of this. Now, my mat shifted, so I want to make sure I'm cutting on the mat and not the table. And my mat, I've probably had this mat maybe 20 years, and I'll show you. It must not have been a self-healing mat, and I think I did damage to it because my table underneath isn't level. Hang on a second. My table underneath isn't level, and you know what? This is a brand new rotary cutter, and it has a little nick in it, which is not making me very happy, because, you know, that's a pain. I have to keep going back and catching where it didn't cut. Or maybe it's not the rotary cutter, maybe it's it's my bad mat. Okay, let's get rid of that scrungy sheet. I'll move this a little bit without tipping you. Okay, are you ready for this? Look at my mat. I have cut all the way through it. There, here. So I think I need a new mat. And that'll be on my wish list. Okay, so that's pretty smooth. I probably, should I go iron that real quick? I'm not going to. How about that? Okay, so I still have my center mark here, my little cross marks. I don't know if you can see them, but I can. I did fold this in half and found my center mark there. I'm going right up against that line. And what I've decided to do, so does this make sense? When you're I guess trying to decide on a construction of how you're going to do it, decide if it is going to be machine stitched, appliqued, however you're going to do it. So I know that I want the top part of my bowl here, bowl base, it's going to be full of flowers. That's all we care about. I know I want this a little bit open because I want to be able to stick, get underneath, you know, for ribbon or embroidery, something to make it look like the stems are inside the bowl. So I'm not gonna spray glue that down, and I'm not gonna stitch that part down. What I'm gonna do is just the sides and the bottom. And then I kind of came up with this little footed thing, and can you see? There's another worn hole that I'm gonna leave. So I'll position this. What I'm gonna do, see, that is too close to the bottom here. So I'm gonna move this up a little bit. It's gonna be higher than center, but what I decided I'm gonna do, probably because I want more height to it, is just add on another piece of fabric on the top to give me more room for the flowers. So I wanna make sure that I have enough room at the bottom as well. So I think you can see that. So I'm just gonna position this. I'm not even gonna measure it and tuck this underneath so I can see where I want that. And these are the kind of things I think about, you guys, and I wish that you were here to tell me what you think, because by the time you tell me what you think, I'm gonna have already done it. Actually, you could see better this way, couldn't you? Except it's upside down for you. Do I want this white showing here, or do I want to bring this up more so that the vase is all dark, or the footing is all dark? Do you know what I mean? I left plenty of room up there. It is going to be a little bumpy, so I think I'll trim some of that back. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe probably a little bit. Do you like that better, or do you like it better with that little black strip showing, more of the white? You know, I think I'm liking that little bit of white. I think I am. You know, that looks good. So this is what I'm gonna do. I could grab my big mat that I showed you. Actually, what else do I have over here? I have this little piece of cardboard that you can see that I've used before. So remember, I am not going to, I'm not going to glue the top of my vase there because I want to be able to get up underneath it. If you guys are thinking I'm doing a lot of goofing around here, you're right. Okay, but I don't want this to shift. So let's put just a couple pins in here, and then that will also remind me, if the pins are there, that you know, I don't want to glue that. So there's a method to the madness here. So here's my board. I don't want to get glue on my background fabric, so let me show you what I plan to do. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to flip this up. I'm actually going to flip this up, and I just had an idea. Instead of spraying that, if you guys know that I love this Dritz Unique Stitch Glue. This is a permanent, so I don't want it real stiff, but I'm just going to do a couple little dabs. This holds like you would not believe. I'm just going to do a couple little dabs to hold that in place and hold this in place so I don't have to spray this little teeny bit. You have to be careful so you don't get it on too thick, but it does dry clear. That's just going to tack that in place so that it doesn't shift, because I have it where I want it. And I'm going to be really careful and just get that where the cardboard is. That is pinned down. I'm just going to smooth that into place. Now, I'm going to leave my pins there so I don't forget, because I will forget, and I'll stitch right over the top of that. Now, before I sew anything down, I'm getting, my glue's almost gone. I'll have to get more of that. Here was the other thing I was deciding on. I hope you guys get used to seeing this upside down. If I move the camera over my shoulder here, then I can't see what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, okay, look, I decided I don't like this up on the very top. I kind of like it right below this. So what I'm gonna do is cut this off into shape so that when I stitch my sides down, it's gonna catch the ribbon underneath. I might do a couple little dabs of my, well, I am gonna do a couple little dabs of this. So let's just take a look here. This is what I'm gonna decide on now, is this beautiful, 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 beautiful ribbon. Look at the shades in that. I'm just gonna kind of go along until I find, now sometimes I'm really picky with this ribbon and I don't want to just chop it in the middle because I might want to use, you know, longer pieces for something. But this one, I mean, I do like that, so I don't know if I'll just cut it there, but I'm just gonna move this along. See, I really like kind of more of these shades of like this pink and dark burgundy here. I think that's going to be really pretty, pulling out the colors in the other fabrics. So I can kind of lay these out so we can see and decide. I mean, right now, I guess the fun part for me is it doesn't look like it's gonna all go together, but it is. Okay, let's just keep moving along here and see what colors we like. Do you like that really light one? No, I'm not sure about that. That might be getting too, these are getting too dark, I think, down here. I don't want to go that dark. You know, I love this ribbon so much, I don't want to, do I not want to chop it up so much? Although if I go to here, I like this lighter and darker in that. I like that lighter pink right there. Okay, guys, I think that's what I'm gonna do, right there. And I'm gonna line it up right underneath where that, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a real fine row, not even a row, I'm just so it tacks it along that edging here. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm using that plaid line. I'm just going right underneath that. I'm just gonna dab that. That pink kind of scooted down. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want a little bit of all those colors in there. So that will help hold it in place. And then what I'm actually gonna do, so I get a really nice cut, is I'm gonna use my rotary cutter and just follow that little curved line of the bowl, like that. I'm in Wisconsin and it is sunny today, it's nice, but Not that it's not cooler out, it's in the 50s, but it's warm in my sewing room, so I have my fan on. My ceiling fan, if you can hear that. Okay, that is looking, you know, like I wanted it to. So let's just take a look here and see what we're gonna do next. Okay, what do you think? I'm going, so it's sprayed on there. I think before I actually stitch it down, I'm going to go press it on the iron, and then I'm just gonna make it easy. I've been having trouble with my sewing machine, and I took it to be fixed, and they replaced the bobbin case and all this stuff, but I'm still having trouble with it. And I have not tried to do even a zigzag. I mean, I've sewn straight with it and still having trouble, but I kind of just muddle through. I'm gonna try a zigzag stitch with you guys on my machine that doesn't work, and we're gonna see if it works. So let me go press this. I'm gonna put some black thread in. And you know what I decided with all these bright colors, and then to kind of bring this out, I'll do, one of my favorite fabrics is a black with a kind of a creamy white polka dot on it. That's gonna be someplace in the border, or I might even use it for the binding. So there will be other black. Have you ever heard that every room should have a little bit of black in it? You know, like in a mirror, candlesticks, or a picture frame, something like that. I feel the same way about quilts. They should all have just a little bit of black in them. So, okay, let's press away and we will get ready to stitch it down. Okay, I am a little bit nervous to start stitching when I don't know if my machine's gonna work, but we're just gonna go for it. So I am gonna bring you down a little bit. I'm gonna show you kind of the method to my madness that I think when I sit, and when things are layered like this, either with machine or hand applique, you kind of want to think about what's going to be noticed and what you need to do first, if that makes sense. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you see the bowl down here, I could have cut it out in one piece, but I hadn't decided. Oh, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I guess I'm not sure that I wanted to put handles on here, so I haven't. I think I might just do a lot of cascading flowers down around this way. So anyway, I wasn't sure how I wanted the foot to look, so I could have cut that in a continuous piece, but I didn't. So now that I did it after the fact, when I do the bowl, I want this to be one continuous stitch, and I want it to go over the top of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stitch the bowl first and then come back and do the feet. I'm going to do the foot part first, so that my ending stitches here will get covered up by the main, I'm going to call it the main stitching of the bowl part, if that makes sense. So I've got my black thread in there. When I come up, I'm not sure, the ribbon is tacked down with the glue. It is going to get stitched down on the sides. If I do come back and do any stitching along, you know, the ribbon itself, which I probably will do, it's going to be hand stitching. I'm not going to do that by machine. So that's why I'm leaving that right now. Don't let me forget, you guys, not to stitch the top. I just have to say it out loud. Don't stitch the top closed. I want to leave that open. Okay, so I'm just going to pick, there's so many stitches I like. You know what? I really, really, really like this feather stitch I'm looking for that works really well for me instead of just the zigzag. Hi. I wish I could flip this around to show you. Anyway, it's okay, that feather stitch, I want it to go that way. They have a reverse. Should I try to show you on here? They have, it's 33 and 34. So they have it reversed. So you can flip it if you're going sewing up or down. Sometimes I really don't care about that. I am going to use this one. My other favorite one is this one, number 71. By the way, this is a Janome Memory Craft 6600. I've had it for years and years. I really, really do love this machine. I hadn't had it, you know how time goes so fast and you think, oh, I just had that serviced. It had been like 4 or 5 years that I had it serviced. Although I don't use it, you know, I haven't been sewing that much the last couple of years, but anyway, remember to have your machine serviced. Okay, I'm gonna start at the foot. I'm thinking, which stitch do I want to use? There's the stitch, I showed you 71, but I'm going to use 70 that is right next to it. It's these like big X's, almost looks like cross stitches. So I'm going to use those. I don't change my settings at all. I just go with what's on there. And while I'm working, I have this that you guys have seen before. It's an upholstery needle. It is so bent. The tip has chipped off, but I use this. So as I come, I probably won't use this. I'll probably use this one. But as I'm stitching, if there's little pieces that are sticking out, you know, I'll try to tuck those up underneath before I actually stitch them down. So is this, there, is that better? Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna do 70, which is on my mode 2, 70, and here we go. Okay, I line my edge up right to the kind of 1/4 inch marking there. I just hold everything flat, and I kind of turn. I guess you can just watch me. I kind of rotate my fabric flat, and I'm gonna do just a couple little stitches here, see where I'm at. That's perfect. I like how it's going over the edge and catching the fabric. There's a little white thread there that if it sticks out after I get it done, I'll just have to come through and cut it off, or I'm just not going to worry about it. So I'm coming around this curve. I'm not pulling. I'm trying to hold everything pretty flat, if you can see that, and just follow the edge and the curve. So again, I'll try to show you the edge of the fabric I have lined up with this slit in my foot. I don't know how your presser foot is. This is the foot I use almost all the time for everything. Okay, as I come around, I'm gonna try, okay, here's another thing. I can use this to hold this into place so that it doesn't get all eaten up underneath. So I'm gonna try to end it, and I can turn my wheel by hand. I'm gonna try to end it. If you're not sure how it's gonna look when you turn it, just leave your needle down and pick it up and turn it. So I can see that if I pick this up, my needle's going this way. I want it to go this way to catch the outside of the fabric here. So I'm actually, now that I did that, I'm just gonna move this over and line my edge back up here. I'm gonna tuck in those little threads along here, put my needle back down, and go along the edge. So I'll just smooth those threads down so they get caught underneath. And I mean, like that. You guys, thank you for being here with me today. I thought this was going to be a hard day, But as I'm working on this and touching Sam's shirt and you guys are here with me, I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's just keep going. I'm not rushing, I'm just letting the machine, I'm not pushing my fabric, I'm just holding it steady and letting the machine take it. Knock on wood, my machine is working right now. Okay, we're coming to this end, so I'm going to slow down and I'll do the same thing I did before. I'm going to decide where I'm going to stop it. I'm going to turn it and see, make sure I'm coming on that outside edge. I lost my needle. That can't happen. Here it is. Okay. So here again is my edge. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe you guys can't really see that. Okay. All right, let's just keep going. I'm holding my fabric kind of smooth and flat. I'm just letting it turn as the machine pulls it. I'm not pushing, I'm not pulling. This is I don't know if you can see that that's bumping up, but I'm holding it flat with my hand. Remember, that one had just little bits of glue underneath to hold it in place. I could use pins, but I get dangerous with pins. I just sew right over them and then I end up in a lot of trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna end it. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I think. My machine has an automatic cutoff, and I think that's what's been messing up my machine. So I'm just gonna hand do this a couple times and pull it out and cut it off, because I think that's what's going on with my machine. I think that like auto cut thing isn't working. Okay, so here I have these long strings that were from here. If I was not going to be sewing over these to secure it, I would probably grab a needle, or from the other side. Here, I'll just pull one. Well, this stitch isn't doing it because of the zigzag. Let me go ahead and cut these off. But you know what I wanted to do is just pull the thread and bring the front one to the back. I could thread a needle and bring that to the back, but I don't need to because I'm going over it with, I'm going over the top of it, which was my plan. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start on the side. I'm not sewing down the top, but it's kind of bugging me that this is going to be fraying. So I'm thinking I might come back and put a little bit of glue there, but let's just finish up with my stitch here. So I'm going to start right on the edge. Get lined up here. This is going to be a little bit thicker, so I'm really going to make sure that I hold this down with my little pointy needle thing here. I'm just going to make sure that everything is flat and smooth, and then I'm letting the machine do the work. Okay, so here's where I'm really keeping that. You know what I did, you guys? You know what I did? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, this is where mistakes. Okay, you know what I did? Did you guys think this when I was doing it? When I cut this off with the rotary cutter, can you see? I cut my background fabric. Okay, don't tell anybody. So I'm gonna keep stitching, and you know what's gonna happen? This is when really, okay, listen to me, I'm serious. This is when really creative things come out of mistakes, because those are going to be the perfect places to put a flower or a yo-yo or a hexie. So we're not going to worry about that. Nobody's going to know it's there. But those are the things that happen. Okay, I can't believe I did that. If you guys saw it and were yelling at me, thank you for trying to take care of me. But I didn't hear you. Okay. Now I'm even snorting. Okay, let's just keep going and stitching. This might catch part of it if I hold it just right, but that's still going to be a perfect place for, let's call it a yo-yo, okay? Oh man, I can't believe I did that. I should have used scissors. Don't do as I do, you guys. That's why I have you here with me, so I can show you all the mistakes, so you know how to do it the right way. Or to show you that mistakes can be fun in a creative outlet. I'm going to speed up just a little bit because I feel like my machine's doing okay. But after I get done with this part today, I might sew on the top, a top piece, just to see what it looks like. But then I think I'm going to start making my yo-yos out of just all kinds of different colors and fabrics. So I can start laying out. Maybe I'll do the vine layout. I think that's how I did the other one that I've been showing you. Okay, I'm going to slow down just for a second. Tuck these little black strings underneath, just like that. So this is where I'm going over where the foot was. I'm just tucking in a little white thread there that would bother me. Some things I don't care about, and some things I would really bug me, like that little white thread. So let me see if I can get that underneath there. The little white thread bothers me, but cutting up the background of the fabric doesn't. Go figure that. This is where I should be able to insert some kind of really pretty music that I don't know how to do. Or if I wouldn't get in trouble for just playing my music in the background, I could do that. So what are you guys thinking so far? What I can tell you is that I'm so glad that I put this behind it as a little bit of a, you know, to secure it a little bit more. I think that this top fabric would be really pulling and puckering a lot if I didn't have that. So I'm glad I did that. Oh, here we come on the other side where it slit. So let's prepare for that. Actually, I'm probably going to cause more trouble. I just need to trim that a little bit. That one all the way up to here. Oh, that was crazy. But I did that. Okay, I'm stopping at the top here. I'm just gonna end it a little bit because I don't want to use my auto cutter thing here. But you know what I'm thinking? I think that I don't know, I was thinking if I should do this along the ribbon too, or if I should hand stitch that. I'm gonna cut these off since I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this top yet. I'm actually gonna pull these threads around to the back just so that they don't unravel. What do you guys think about this? Do you think I should just do that stitch that I just did? Oh, here. You can see what it looks like on there, plus my slit. I'm gonna be doing so much handwork with the yo-yos and everything that maybe when I get, there's just a little thread here that I'm gonna try to snip off. Then I'm thinking that I'll have so much other handwork on it, maybe I'll just do this and get it done and get it secured. Since I'll be handling it a lot, maybe I just want to make sure that this is going to be secure down. So I'm going to, I'll do one side, I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll do the other side. So let's go ahead and get this done. And I'm just stitching right over the ribbon. Do you guys like, sometimes I look for people to watch so that I can just watch them sew, because I think it's relaxing and I like the sounds of the machine or their needle going through their fabric. And so I hope this is relaxing for you, not boring. I have shown you how to do yo-yos before. I have a playlist showing yo-yos. I'll show you all the different sizes that I have when I get done with this little side here, because I think I'm going to sit for a couple hours. Oh, I almost shut that down with that, and I think that's not what I want to do because of my machine. But let's see how this is working here. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, it's coming right along. So I will go ahead and do the other side. I'll get that stitched down. I am going to start, how is it this fun that it's already at this point that we can do this? I wanted to grab my yo-yos. And you guys know what I'm talking about when I say yo-yos. I have a lot of different sizes here I can show you. I won't be using any of these because I have these slated for other projects, but I think I'm just going to really do a mix of fabrics here. I just poked myself. So as we work on this, along with the other fabrics that I showed you, I have some other colors like this that I'm just going to work in. Sometimes I forget what size is what. This is the biggest. These are all clover templates, and this is the biggest one, 90 millimeters. I think this one is this size. This one turns out to be this size, which is the 60 millimeter. I've got one of these big ones somewhere. Let's see. This one is the 45 millimeter. See, any of these would look pretty on here, don't you think? I can't remember what I was using that one for. Maybe I'll have to sneak that one in here. This is the traditional basic yo-yo size. Uh-oh. I'm not sure why those are glued together. What did I do there? Oh, they're not glued. Look, they're magnet. I was trying to make some kind of closure out of that. I forgot I was working on that. Okay, those are this size, which is 30 millimeter. This is the tiniest little thing, 20 millimeter. I'm just gonna leave it on that pin so you can see how tiny that is. I have a heart-shaped one, which I haven't used that much, and I have an oval-shaped that I haven't used that much. But I think for this project, because it's gonna be full of love for Sam, I'm gonna use hearts. I think I'm gonna use ovals just because he would think that was cool. And then I'm just gonna fill it with all different kinds of size yo-yos. I'll put some hexies in there. So what I'm gonna do right now is Jim's actually gonna take me on a little ride. I've shown you Holy Hill before. We're gonna ride up to Holy Hill and look at the fall colors. So we're gonna do that a little bit here, but I'm gonna try to make a few yo-yos. I think what I will do is maybe map out, I'll stitch something on the top just so I have more height to play with. And if I can grab this one to show you again before I let you go. Now this one I did a lot of embellishment with beads. I don't know if I'll do that on this one, but, and I used, try to get it close up. I actually used some of Cece's variegated hand-dyed ribbon for my stems. I'm gonna try to find a few more here. There you go. That I stitched down. And then I did a lot of beads. So I think I'll probably start, this is what I was talking about leaving the top open so that I could stick, see how I tucked the fabric and the stems, the ribbon underneath, so they're actually coming out of the base. So that's what I will be doing. I think that's pretty much for today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope all you guys have a really beautiful day. And if you want to follow me along, that would be so great. You know what I'm about, just chit-chatting and sharing my mistakes, basically. I kind of Black Thread Studio is my group, because I want you guys here with me. And I like to hear what you say. I like to hear your ideas. If you don't like the raspberry ribbon, it's too late. It's already stitched down. But I'm just gonna keep going. I will certainly share along with this. You know I'm working on Down by the Lake. I talked about that. Rita and I will be going to see Kay Facet, so hopefully that will be next weekend. Or you know what, I have my mom next weekend, and I was thinking about, I'm sorry I didn't do it today. I'm gonna try to pull out some more of her columns from Shirley's Cottage. We're so lucky that my mom is still here, and next summer we are 60 years on Lake Ripley, my family, and I just think what a way to honor my mom. So I need to get those back out. Maybe I'll start that in January. I'll start doing Shirley's Cottage again. But I'm gonna keep working on these quilts. I'm probably gonna be showing more quilt. I was doing some cross stitching, but it just takes me too much time. I can't get it done, and I don't have enough to show. I love doing it, but I just don't have anything to show. I just don't. So we'll just keep plugging along, and I will see you soon. Thanks for being here today, you guys. Bye.
I don't know why I won't go through this section, Mom.